Hello outdoor eaters, I have a question for you today. So here it goes. Is there anything that is better tasting than a perfectly cooked pork belly that is just tender and juicy on the inside and the outside is just so crispy and so colorful? And is it going to taste even better when we top it with some beer sauce? And final question, can we make some potatoes taste like pork? Well, we will find this out in the next video.
Beautiful place, and the weather was even better. For this cookout, the first thing that I did, it was to build a fireplace with some little rocks that I found on my way here. And I know that I am repeating myself, but this place is stunning. There is only one word to describe this fireplace, and that word is cute. What do you guys think? It actually reminds me a little bit of a tiny volcano. The first thing to do is to make a rub, so for that I'm going to be using fennel seeds, coriander seeds and tarragon. If you have a mortar, please use it. I forgot mine at home and this is why I'm improvising. When you're done with the grinding, add also some whole grain mustard and some garlic powder. We will add salt and pepper separately. Let's have a look at the meat now. As you can see, it's a beautiful pork belly. The next thing to do is to clean it up and get it ready. Let's start by removing that ugly looking piece of meat. The next thing to do is to get the bones out. I'm going to be removing them one by one, but if you guys are confident about it, you can also remove the whole piece. And while I was doing that, I have seen how much meat there was still on the bones, and so I have decided to cook the ribs as well. I highly suggest you to use a sharp butcher's knife and let the blade do all of the job for you. We are almost done with the butchering. There is only that little bone left to remove. And remember to feel the meat with your fingers, just so that you make sure that you have removed everything. That's it, job done. That's a clean pork belly. I like to use some mustard as a binder, just to make sure that the rub will stick perfectly to the meat. Now it's time to add the salt and the pepper. Remember to season both sides. And last but not least, this vibrant spice rub. Now it's time to make the roll, or as we say it in Italy, porchetta. In order for the meat to keep its shape, I'm going to be tying it up with some butcher's twine. But if you feel like this method is too complicated, you can also use some kebab sticks. I recommend the butcher's twine method. It's a little bit more difficult to master, but you will have a better result in the end. You start by making a knot on one side of the roast, and then you just keep twisting the rope around the meat till you come to the end, where you will have to make another knot. Now let's cut the butcher's twine and we're good to go. The shape of porchetta is absolutely one of my favorites. For the ribs, I will use the exact same rub with some sunflower oil. The next step is to put some oil in the iron skillet. And once it will be nice and hot, let's take the roast and place it inside. I hope that you guys are ready for this sound. I love it every time. It's important to give to the meat an even sear on all sides. Next step, prepare the veggies. Let's start by cutting some celeriac into small cubes, followed by some carrots, onion, and now let's put all of our vegetables inside of the pan. Let's add also a whole garlic. And cook everything for a few minutes. We are going to slow cook this roast and braise it in some dark beer and some more beer. It's important that we let the beer simmer until the alcohol will evaporate completely. Next step, cover it with some aluminum foil and let it braise for 2.5 to 3 hours. But you can also do this in your home oven at 180 degrees Celsius. For the ribs, we're going to put them on the fire for a few minutes so that they can get a nice color. In my opinion, this is how real beauty looks like. The ribs are ready, they are looking phenomenal, and I will put them in the pan now with the roast so that they can slow cook. And I have also added some fresh thyme. Earlier in the video I made you the promise about pork potatoes, so I boiled some, seasoned them with salt and pepper, now spread them with a generous amount of what I believe is pork's gold. This is a combination of pork's fat and pork's cracklings. Now it's time to make kind of a potato porky sandwich and wrap it up in some aluminum foil. Place the potatoes inside of the fire so that they can get nice and hot and infused with the pork's fat. That looked so nice to me because it looked like my tiny volcano gained some diamonds. After 3 hours of braising, the meat was finally done. This is one of those reasons that get me so passionate about cooking. I wanted the roast to get some more crust and color, so I placed it on a fire for a few more minutes. Then I have removed the garlic and the thyme, took the ribs out, and they were looking very good, and that, my friends, is full of the bone guaranteed. My plan is also to make a sauce, so I am using an old piece of bread to remove the excess fat. Dissolve about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in 6 tablespoons of water, stir it inside of the sauce, and that will thicken it instantly. And that bread from earlier, it will make an awesome grilled bread. Add some more whole grain mustard and adjust the salt. At this point I was getting very hungry, because how can you not be when you're looking at a feast like this? I was extremely satisfied by the end result of the porchetta because it was just brilliant and the ribs were just pure taste. The potatoes turned out amazing because they tasted like pork, but at the same time the taste was not overpowering. Finally, the time has arrived. It was tasting time, my friends, and I was excited. I gotta tell you that I was extremely satisfied with the end result because it was very juicy, it was very tender, and the spices just gave it that touch that it made it so enjoyable to eat. The sauce was able to close the circle and it brought the whole thing very close to perfection. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to follow me on Instagram, subscribe and hit the like button.